Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Um, when you have time, you should listen to some African music. You know, I'm listening to this track and it's amazing. It's a nice track. I've recently taken the time to listen to some African music from different artists around Africa. Trying to appreciate our own beautiful music indeed. So, welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart Conversation. It's gonna be a beautiful one. It's gonna be a wonderful one. Today, my guest, Mr. Elijah Masubelele. I, it's gonna be a hectic one today, I must say, because the the topic of marriage and relationship. This is a very sensitive one, I have to say. It's a very sensitive one. So, but we're going to get into it now. Mr. Elijah is going to help us to unravel this topic and help us to understand it a little bit more, and how people think, how people do things. And he's had to help a whole lot of people. Okay. So today he's going to help us to unravel the mystery around relationships and marriage, because but when mojolo wanyisa, so we're going to talk about that today. Okay, so without wasting any time, let me connect with Mr. Elijah so that he can please explain this mystery to us so that we know how this thing works. All right, so just hold on for me so that I can get hold of him. Right, Mr. Elijah, I'm Jolang. Okay, I'm sending you a request. Please accept it, sir.
Thobela,
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
le kae papa?
Rona le kae, Papa?
Awa no go la ga o thushi, re sa phela, we are talking mojolo, marato, manyalo, everything in one.
Like the time you can decide, like, you know what, I want to have Mr. Elijah here so that we can talk about this topic. And I know it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy topic, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. And like, so Kaiputsisa, Karmara, what actually came into your mind for you to decide, or you know what, I want to be a marriage counselor or a relationship counselor to look at this subject? You feel like, is it a calling? Did it call you, or you called it? Like, what happened?
Yeah. You know, I always say to my clients that, you know, on Saturday and Sunday, I spend my time sitting, you know, dealing with issues, whereas I should
Mm-hmm.
be having fun out there with other people. But, you know, God does not work like that. If He wants you to do something, you know, He will choose you. But most of us, we don't realize that we are chosen. I myself have been through a lot of bad relationships in my life, you know, and you go through relationship problems and challenges, and you mess up and you get messed up in the process. But then as you progress and you grow, you start to realize that there's something that, you know, I had to learn from that. But apart from
Mm-hmm.
that, Charles, I need to make it known to our listeners and our viewers rather, that I studied psychology. So in psychology, the other thing that I did was to study marriages. Now, my interest came where I wanted to see, you know, in the biblical context where, you know, we can say people function in this way and we can test it by applying the principles in the Bible. So I got very interested in that, and I started to, you know, obviously do a lot of research. I've done a lot of research. I've written a lot of books about marriages, and it's a very interesting area for me because many people don't realize that marriages are not problems. Mujolo has a butata. Butata is the people in the mujolo. Botata is the people in the marriages. And this is where it becomes very interesting because, you know, we always blame marriages, we always blame relationships. No, 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 no. Until we can get ourselves right, we will never get any relationship right or any marriage right. So for me, it is what turns me on to see how we can transform the mind. I mean, the Bible speaks about transforming the mind on a daily basis, you know. And if we do that right, we are able to transform many other areas of our lives. Unfortunately, what I've also learned is that people don't want to transform in here. And for as long as you're not transforming in here, you are having a bad life out there.
That's that's powerful. That's powerful. So, like, why is it that Arena is bad too? Because it seems to me, Okare, we know, but we are not willing to do. Why is that?
You'll be so shocked. You know, one of the most important thing that I study is the brain. So we study the mind. Now, the mind is a very funny object. It basically controls everything that we do, you know. So the problem is that even if we know are more likely or prone to reject the knowledge that's going to help us become better because it's easier to go with the group. You know, the mob psychology where people say men are trash. Everybody says, yeah, men are trash. You know, Mujolo Wanyisa, everybody says, yes, Mujolo Wanyisa, you know. But in essence, one of us can say, hang on, how can we do it differently? What can I do from my point of view to enhance my own understanding of things, to understand how things are done, and to change my own perspective about my own life as well as the life of other people? Because you don't change other people's lives, you change your perspective of their life. The moment you change your perspective, you start to see them differently, you start to encourage them differently, they start to have the energy because remember, we are all energy. Everything that
Mm-hmm.
we are in life is connected. You know, we are created from the same fiber as the universe. So every time, whether you like it or not, you are in a state of accessing and transferring energy. So people
Mm-hmm.
can sense and feel what you are bringing to them. So if we are not speaking to the mind, our own mind on a daily basis, we are more likely to be releasing toxic traits that are affecting everybody else that we get engaged with. So it's not that we don't know. We do know. We just don't have the willingness and the commitment to change our lives.
But why is that? Why don't we have the willingness and the commitment? I mean,
Enter,
like,
yeah.
I think that, when someone goes into marriage, I assume that they want to make it work. If someone goes into a relationship, they want to make the relationship work, right? But now the willingness and the commitment, why is it not there to say that I want to make this work?
Okay, you say people want to get into marriage and they want to make it work. There's a difference between wanting something and committing yourself to achieving it. It is easier to want, and that's why you see a lot of people in January, they've got New Year's resolutions. It's they want to do something with their lives, but it is taking massive action that's going to separate those who are successful to those who want to achieve success. So now I'm going to speak to you about the brain quickly. So your brain operates in the principle of least effort. That's what it does. So it goes to what is easier. So 90% of your time, your brain wants you to do things that are easy. Now, everything that seems to be difficult or challenging to the brain, your brain will always pull you back to what you are accustomed to, which is simplicity. Now, your job is to keep pushing the brain out of its comfort zone. Now, when I speak about the brain here, I need to be very clear that you've got two brains. So you've got the conscious brain and the subconscious brain. Now, the conscious brain is where, easy stuff happens. I want to go eat. But in terms of what you're going to eat, now that is affected by the subconscious brain, where if you are so used to eating to eating sugary stuff, your brain will say to you, remember, you want to eat, but because you love sugary stuff, don't go for anything else but sugary stuff. At that moment, it's where many people fail to say, no, 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 brain, not today. I'm going to push myself to step out of the boundary of having the sugary stuff today. So I'm going to have something different today, So then they go for something different. Their brain says, you see, you didn't even enjoy it. But your job is to keep saying to the brain, I'm going to do it again tomorrow and the day after. For the next coming 21 days, I'll be pushing you to get used to a new habit. Now, for example, a simple example, many people have gotten used to more ways of treating themselves and their better halves worse. So they have